So now let's get started with dividing decimals when it doesn't always work out perfectly. Now I know you're going to say, Miss Wilson, that problem doesn't even have a decimal in it. You just wait. Let's start working on it. 40 divided by 25. We know that 25 can go into 40 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. Now we subtract, make that a 3, make that a 10. Got 15, bring down that 5. I know that 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150. That's 6. So 25 times 6 is 150. So normally you would just be like, okay, I'm done now. It's remainder 5. But not anymore. Remember how some of those problems in the beginning used to say represent your answer as a decimal or a fraction? Today we're going to represent it as a decimal, and we'll do fractions when we get back from Christmas break. So remember, you can just add a decimal point to the end of any number, stays the same number, and add a 0. Same number, 405 and 0 tenths is the same as 405. Bring down that 0, and suddenly you can just keep dividing forever. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and do this. 50 divided by 25 we know is 2. 2 times 25 is 50, and we're done. But magical decimal line now can't happen in the beginning. It has to happen when you're done dividing. So if you forget this step, like for example in this one, if you forgot to bring up your decimal point, you would have 162, not 16 and 2 tenths. Very important to remember that even if we have to do it at the end, you still have to put your magical decimal line in. It's incredibly vital. So for this one, 405 divided by 25 is really 16 and 2 tenths. Let's keep going. 12 and 9 tenths divided by 6 tenths. You're like, Miss Wilson, we already did some like these yesterday. Yeah, but for this one, it's not going to work out quite as evenly. So first things first, you can't have it, ever can have a decimal in the divisor. So go ahead and swoop it out. Took one swoop, take one swoop, and it's going to be really hard for you because I taught you to just bring it up. But for this one, because I'm telling you we're going to have to add zeros, I would wait. So let's go ahead and divide. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract. Bring down that 9. 9 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. That gets me 3 left over. But it's a decimal, so you can't have a remainder with a decimal. We're going to add our 0 and bring it down. 30 divided by 6 is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Now we're done. Let's go back to that decimal. Bring it up. I was completely wrong. You could have brought it up before. Wow. You do not have to wait till the end. We all make mistakes sometimes. It's okay. Let's keep going. 30 divided by 8 tenths. Let's do it. We know that we can never, ever divide with a decimal in the divisor, so swoop it out. Add your decimal to the end and swoop it out. Bring it on up. It's going to go right here, but I am going to go ahead and put that 0 there. Even though there was no decimal, I had to swoop it out to the right, because if I swoop it out once to the right from the divisor, I have to do it in the dividend. So we went ahead and brought it up. I'm going to make our decimal line there a little bit bigger, and let's see what happens. 30 divided by 8. We know that 8 can go into 30 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract that, you get 6. Bring down the 0. Well, 8 times 8 is 64, and 8 times 7 is 56. Wow, my brain had a little moment there. So we know we have to have a 7 here. 7 times 8 is 56, and if we subtract that, we're still going to get 4 left over. So we have to add our 0 and bring it down. 40 divided by 8 is 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So we know that we had to swoop and make another 0 there, bring up our decimal, and add another 0. I want to highlight that to make sure you understand where we're going here. We had to swoop because we had to swoop over here. So we had to add this 0 here because we swooped past it. You can't just have like a blank hole in the middle of a number. And then we added this 0 because we had a remainder, and you can't have a remainder in decimals. I hope that one makes sense. Let's do another one. 36 and 2 tenths divided by 4. This seems harmless enough. Let's go ahead and bring our magical decimal line, bring that decimal up. Ooh, not a 0. That should have been a decimal point. There's your decimal point. Now let's divide. 36 divided by 4 we know is 9, because 9 times 4 is 36. Let's bring down that 2. 2 divided by 4 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. We have 2 left over. Cannot have leftovers when you're dividing. We're going to add a 0 to the end of our dividend. We're going to bring it down. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So 36 2/10 divided by 4 is 9 5/100. Let's do this last one together before we do some really together, and you have to work them out as well. All right, again, there's no decimal in the divisor, so we don't have to swoop. 97 divided by 35. I know that 35 times 2 is 70, and 35 times 3 is going to be in the hundreds. So I know it's times 2. Magical decimal line, bring it up. 35 times 2 is 70. Let's subtract. 273. Wow, that's going to take some math. Ooh, I'm going to take a guess here and say 5. Let's see how that works. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3 is 15, 16, 17. Wow, I was way off. That's why we should have estimated instead of just guessing. Let's try 35 times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 3 is 21, 22, 23, 24, 245. Are we going to get any closer is the question. Let's try, just in case. 35 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. 3 times 8 is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Nope. Super close, but it's got to be 7. 35 times 7 is 245. Let's subtract. All right, so make this a 6. So that has to be a 2, so this is a 13. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Remainder 28. Cannot have a remainder, so let's go ahead and add our 0 and bring it down. 280. Look, look, look. We already worked that one out. Didn't have to earlier, but now we've already got it. So I know that 35 times 8 is 280. So my answer is 2 78 hundredths. Hope those are making sense to you. Make sure you review the video if you need to. That's the cool part about having a recorded lesson is anytime you have any questions, you can always review the video or come ask me in the Google Meet. And I will see you soon.